The following program is presented live by Grafing Productions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, and welcome to Wednesday night. Back in April, when we started doing these internet concerts, we figured we'd do it for a week or two or whatever and then get back to work. Well, it hasn't worked out exactly that way. They told us we were going to be back to normal on April 7th. They just didn't tell us what year. So here we are again on Wednesday night. Banjo, Betsy, and the tenor banjo. Wes Linenkugel on the string bass. My name is Ragtime Rick, and we're going to fight back with ragtime one more time. Wherever you're watching from, I certainly hope that things are getting back to normal. The state of Ohio is starting to open up and return to almost what it used to look like. But we're going to play some music that'll give you an idea of what it used to sound like once upon a time when ragtime was popular. We're going to start off with a great old Tin Pan Alley song, a tune written by L. Wolf Gilbert and Louis Muir. One of those good old mammy tunes, if you will. It goes like this. Down on the levee in old Alabama, there's Daddy and Mammy, there's Ephraim and Sammy. On a moonlight night you can find them all. While they are waiting, the banjos are syncopating. What's that they're saying? What's that they're saying? While they keep on playing and humming and swaying, it's the good ship Robert E. Lee has come to carry the cotton away. See them shuffling along. Watch them shuffling along. Go get your best gal, your real pal, and go down to the levee. I said the levee. Join that shuffling throng. Hear that music and song. Go get your mate. Waiting on the levee, waiting for the Robert E. Lee. Waiting for the Robert E. Lee, which was never there on time. Actually, that song is a great tune, but it's not very historically correct. First of all, the words are way down on the levee in old Alabama. And if the songwriters had ever bothered to look it up, they would have found that there is not a single levee in the state of Alabama. And to add to the madness, if you will, the Robert E. Lee was, of course, a Mississippi riverboat. And as anybody who's ever looked at a map knows, the state of Alabama is nowhere near the Mississippi River. The entire state of Mississippi is in between them. So there's probably no chance that the Robert E. Lee was going to get down to any place in Alabama. And that's why they're still waiting for the Robert E. Lee. Now, it's still a great song, if not historically accurate. A lot of great songs came from those Tin Pan Alley songwriters, even if they weren't necessarily very historically correct or what have you, or geographically correct, either one. There was a great songwriter who I learned about from the great piano player Johnny Maddox. He was the fellow who told me all about Fred Rose. Fred Rose was a great Tin Pan Alley songwriter who wrote a couple of songs that became very, very popular. And then eventually he moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and started a music publishing company with the famous entertainer Roy Acuff. It was the Acuff-Rose Publishing Company. I believe Fred Rose's son Wesley took it over later on, and it's been sold since. But Acuff-Rose had a very good reputation as music publishers, and they had a pretty simple business plan, and that was that they didn't pay the highest royalties for songs that they published, but they actually paid them. And there were other publishers who would promise the songwriters huge percentage in royalty for every song that they wrote, but they never paid anything, so it didn't matter. They could double what they said they were going to pay. If they never actually paid the money, it didn't make any difference. But Acuff-Rose, they actually paid the songwriters, and they wound up becoming probably the most popular music publishing company in Nashville, Tennessee, at least at one time. But long before that, Fred Rose was paying his dues by writing songs himself. And he was writing them in New York at Tin Pan Alley, and he wrote a couple of great little tunes, including this one. Red hot mama, you're the one I need. Red hot mama, you're some charmer, yes indeed. I claim that you should be in the Follies, the Ziegfeld Follies, 'cause you got a pair of eyes like a couple of hot tamales. I confess that you possess the sweetest charms in town. And unless I miss my guess, the boys all follow you around. You make a music master drop his fiddle, make a bald-headed man part his hair in the middle. Red hot mama, sweetest gal in town. I confess that you possess the sweetest charms in town. And unless I miss my guess, the boys all follow you around. You make a music master drop his fiddle, make a bald-headed man part his hair in the middle. Red hot mama, sweetest gal in town. one of those songs, one of those great old tunes from the Tin Pan Alley days, that one written by a guy named Fred Rose, Red Hot Mama. Should we do the one that followed up with that? Red Hot Mama, by the way, I learned the tune originally from Johnny Maddox. He recorded that on his King of Ragtime album, which for me was one of the most influential albums. I stole just about every trick off of that album for every song. But then I found out that that song had been recorded in the 1920s by a group that Thomas Edison called the Georgia Melodians. And I think they were actually a spin-off of the California Ramblers, although the California Ramblers did record for Edison under the name the Golden Gate Orchestra, so it's pretty confusing when you're trying to figure out who was actually in the band. But the Georgia Melodians recorded that song for Edison. It was issued, I believe, both on an Edison diamond disc and also on a blue amberol cylinder. So that shows you how old that song is, Red Hot Mama. And then they followed that song up with another guy who said he was even hotter than that old Red Hot Mama, and that was the old Red Hot Henry Brown. Well, I'm a red hot Henry Brown, hottest man in town. That red hot mama that you heard about, well, she took a look at me and her fire went out. I'm a man who's hard to find, red hot step in time. Got a coat for Christmas from a gal named Ann, had to take it back and change it for an electric fan. Hottest man in town, they call me Red Hot Henry Brown. Red Hot Henry Brown, hottest man in town. Up in Juneau, Alaska, about a year ago, well, they called for me to help them melt the snow. I'm a man that's hard to beat, the inventor of hot steam heat. When I walk into a restaurant, it's no joke. When I walk in, the place begins to fill with smoke, 'cause I'm the hottest man in town. They call me Red Hot Henry Brown. Red Hot Henry Brown. That was the follow-up to Red Hot Mama, and the Georgia Melodians also recorded that for Edison, about 90 years ago. Red Hot Henry Brown, hottest man in town. Yeah, they don't write songs like that anymore. We're going to slow it down, play a little blues, if you will, but this one is not a conventional kind of blues, but it's a nice song, and I think this was originally based on the song I Ain't Got Nobody, or the original title was I Ain't Got Nobody Much. Anyway, it was based on that, but it came out a little melancholy, so they called this the Melancholy Blues. Not to be confused with the Melancholy Baby. It's an entirely different song, a different subject. There you go, the Melancholy Blues. Not to be confused with Melancholy Baby. That's an entirely different song, an entirely different subject. Well, here we are. It was about 90 degrees out today, at least where we are, which is a far cry from a few weeks ago when we were watching it snow as we were in the middle of our performance. And I think we even played Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. Well, now it's about 90 degrees out, which just goes to show that if you're in Northwest Ohio and you don't like the weather, just wait a minute, it will change. But of course, all of a sudden now it's after Memorial Day weekend and it's the unofficial beginning of the summer season, even though summer doesn't officially get here for another couple of weeks. But yes, we start thinking about the things we like to do in the summertime. We might want to go hiking or mountain climbing. We might want to go through the forest. I remember one time my sister took a tramp in the woods. Her stomach was on the bum all night, from what I remember. Anyway, we're going to play a song about another place where you may decide to go during this time of the year where if they allow you with proper social distancing to have some kind of fun, and that's when you go by the beautiful sea. Beautiful sea, which is in B flat, but that's by the sea. Now Joe and Jane were always together. Said Joe to Jane, I love summer weather, so let's go by the beautiful sea. Follow along, say you're with me. Now everything that Joe would suggest to her, Jane would always think it was best for her. So he got his Ford and shouted all aboard, gee, I'd love to be by the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea. You and I, oh how happy we'll be. When each wave comes a-rolling in, we will duck or swim, and then we'll float and fool around the water, over and under, and then up for air. Pa is rich, Ma is rich, so now what do we care? I'd beside the seaside, by the beautiful sea. By the beautiful sea, you and I, oh how happy we'll be. When each wave comes a-rolling in, we will duck or swim, and then we'll float and fool around the water, over and under, and then off for air. Pa is rich, Ma is rich, so now what do we care? I'd love to be beside your side, beside the seaside, by the beautiful sea. There we go, by the beautiful sea, which was in B flat, but that's by the sea. Pretty close anyway. All right, well, we're glad to have you join us. And around this time, I usually mention that Our Wednesday night concerts are brought to you in part by the Saturday Morning Extravaganza, which is part of the Saturday Morning on Seaway lineup of radio programs on AM 1230 in Toledo, WCWA. If you're in the Toledo radio reception range, you can pick up AM 1230 WCWA. If you're a little farther away and have an HD radio, you can go to FM 104.7 HD2 and pick up the signal on it, but you have to have an HD radio to pick it up on WYOT HD2. Anybody else can pick it up through the iHeartRadio app, either streaming at 1230foxsports.com or on the iHeartRadio app on your smartphone or personal device. And the music starts at 6 in the morning on Saturday with the early morning oldies. Our camera operator takes over at 8 o'clock and does the extravaganza warm-up show, and then I come back from 9 a.m. until 12 noon with a Saturday morning extravaganza, playing music you won't find anywhere else on the AM radio dial, except maybe in Lacey, Washington, if you tune in KBRD. They play stuff that I can't imagine where they found it. Anyway,
How long have you been doing that now?
the radio program, well, I started in January 2008, so it's 12 years. Yeah, 12 and a, yeah, that's been a while. And of course, I was not the original host of the program. The legendary Toledo broadcaster Bob Martz was on that program long before I came along. So the radio program has been around for a long time, and it's on Toledo's second oldest radio station, which has been on the air since 1938. So you're all welcome to join us every Saturday morning. And that program is brought to you by lots of other great sponsors who I'm not going to tell you about today, but I'll tell you about them on Saturday morning. In the meantime, we did have a request. I got a request earlier today to play a song, and we played it a few weeks ago, but whoever it was obviously wasn't watching or wanted us to play it again, so this time we get it right, which is very, very possible. So this is a request, and what's that? Yeah, okay, well, we'll get there. It's a request for a song that everybody will remember. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song side by side. Don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but we'll travel the road, sharing our load side by side. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? Well, as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. And when they've all had their quarrels and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just a traveling along, singing a song side by side. Oh, I got married last Friday, my good wife stood right beside me, and much later on, when the guests had all gone, we stood side by side. We were glad to be wed then. We got ready for bed then, when her false teeth and hair she placed on a chair, side by side. One cork leg to follow, and one glass eye so small. And then she slowly unscrewed her lower left arm and placed it on the chair by the wall. I stood by broken-hearted, 'cause most of my wife had departed, and I slept on the chair 'cause there was more of her there, side by side. I just love those old songs, and I just kind of go to pieces when I hear a tune like that. Side by side. By the way, we want to thank the patrons of the art from the Ernest Brewing Company for sending the growler of this wonderful Irish cream ale for us to enjoy this evening, and we are certainly enjoying this. And that last song always makes me thirsty. Well, yeah. We went to the sea a little while ago, where you'll find the seagulls. It's kind of interesting that when they're flying around the bay, they don't call them bay gulls. I don't know why. Have you ever noticed that? Yeah, they don't call them bay gulls. Anyway, one of the bays that we were thinking of, and there were several, well, there's Moonlight Bay, of course. That was a Percy Wenrick song. But here's a song that was popular back in the days when Borneo was popular, and we played one a couple of weeks ago called I Wish That I'd Been Born in Borneo. Here's another Borneo song, a tune called Way Down on Borneo Bay. Say way down south, way down in Borneo, there's a wild dance called the Borneo. Way down on Borneo Bay. Even though you've got a corneo, you will dance till the break of Borneo. Way down on Borneo Bay. Say a wild man stands with his clothes so turnio, toot 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 on his brand new horneo. Then those bamboo babies start to sway. When you see them dance the Borneo, you will put your shoes at Borneo. Way down on Borneo Bay. Way down south, way down in Borneo, there's a wild dance called the Borneo. Way down on Borneo Bay. Even though you've got a corneo, you will dance till the break of dawnio. Way down on Borneo Bay. Say a wild man stands with his clothes all torneo, toot 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 on his brand new horneo. Then those bamboo babies start to sway. When you see them dance Borneo, you will put your shoes in Borneo. Way down on Borneo Bay. way down on Borneo Bay. In case anybody's wondering where Borneo is, it's located about halfway between Australia and Vietnam. It's in an area of the world that we call Malaysia, if you will, the Pacific Rim, but once upon a time it was just called Borneo, and there were a number of Borneo songs that were actually popular once upon a time, and we're not going to play the Wild Man of Borneo song, though that one's even beyond our scope of interest. But I'll tell you what we are going to do. We're going to play a song that was made popular by Eddie Cantor a long time ago. He used to sing this song all the time. Eddie Cantor, old banjo eyes, used to dance back and forth all the time when he was performing. And people asked him why he never sat still. And he said that's because it was harder to hit a moving target with a tomato. But one of the songs that Eddie Cantor made very popular, although I particularly enjoy the rendition that was done by Billy Jones and Ernest Hare, with, believe it or not, Phil Ullman on the piano and Harry Reeser on the banjo. And that's one of my favorite renditions of the song from when it first came out. It goes like this. Well, I just met a sweetheart known as Susie. In the words of Shakespeare, she's a wow. Though some of you may know her too, I'd like to shout right now. If you knew Susie like I know Susie, oh, 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 what a gal. There's none so classy as this fair lassie. Oh, oh, oh my goodness, what a chassis. We went riding, she didn't balk. Back from Yonkers, I'm the one that had to walk. If you knew Susie like I know Susie, oh, oh, what a gal. Now Susie has a perfect reputation. No one ever saw her on a spree. Nobody knows where Susie goes. Nobody knows but me. And if you knew Susie like I know Susie, oh, 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 what a gal. There's none so classy as this fair lassie. Oh, oh, oh my goodness, what a chassis. I had a mustache, cute as a pup. Susie kissed me and oh my God, the thing burned up. If you knew Susie like I know Susie, oh, oh, what a gal. If you knew Susie like I know Susie, oh, what a gal. Yeah, they don't write songs like that anymore. And I used to know a bartender named Susie. She used to work daytimes at Ragtime Rick. At Ragtime Rick's first draft. Speaking of first draft, I'm having my first draft first today. That's what the chairman of the board always used to say.
Oh, yeah.
And Susan was the one that took care of all of those board members. And it brings back some fond memories, yes, of those days. One of the songs I would never have played for our bartender was a tune called Sweet Sue. At least I would have never played it if she were listening. Every star above knows the one I love, sweet Sue, just you. And the moon up high knows the reason why, sweet Sue, it's you. No one else, it seems, ever shares my dreams. And without you, girl, I don't know what I do. In this heart of mine, you live all the time, sweet Sue, just you. Every star above knows the one I love, sweet Sue, just you. And the moon up high knows the reason why, sweet Sue, it's you. No one else, it seems, ever shares my dreams. And without you, girl, I don't know what I'd do. In this heart of mine, you live all the time, sweet Sue, just you. Sweet Sue, just you. Well, nobody ever sang that to our bartender. We called her the tavern wench. That's far from being sweet Sue, I would say. Yes, she was the tavern wench. We are, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, we are broadcasting this on the internet over the Grafing Productions YouTube channel. Now, currently, during the coronavirus lockdown, we've been broadcasting 4 different programs every week. On Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, Wes Linenkugel plays the hammered dulcimer. Wednesday night, we do our ragtime concert. On Thursday night, we have a jazz group with a fellow named Tim Teeterman plays the Hammond organ, and he usually has he always has a drummer with us, a very talented drummer, a guy named Clark Brooks on drums, and then he has any number of other guest artists. He's had Dave Stella on guitar, Gene Parker on the vibes and on the saxophone on various nights, Ray Parker on the violin. So all kinds of great guests and some great jazz and some great tunes on Thursday night. That's also at 8 o'clock. And then Friday nights at 8 o'clock, the house band, the group from the Village Idiot in Maumee, Ohio, that would normally be there if there were entertainment at the Village Idiot now. But they've been at the Oliver House, the microbrew in downtown Toledo, and they've been performing on Friday nights on our video stream. It's a live concert again, so you're welcome to join us Friday nights on the Grafing Production YouTube channel. You can find every one of these concerts, and of course you can always get there by logging on to ragtimerick.com, which takes you to these Wednesday night concerts. And they're being done live. We don't record any of this ahead of time, which is why we don't always know what we're going to do next, and we stumble our way through sometimes, but we have a good time doing it. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to play another tune for you now, and should I play? I haven't played any ragtime yet tonight, and I'll tell you what, it's probably time that I did that. This is a rag that was written by a fellow named Ted Snyder, and he was a partner in the music publishing business with Irving Berlin at one time. And Ted Snyder wrote this particular rag. I don't know a whole lot more about him, but he wrote a tune that a young up-and-coming entertainer used as his signature tune when he was just kind of getting his start in show business as a ragtime piano player. And that was a fellow they used to call the old schnozola, Jimmy Durante. And the song, the rag that Jimmy Durante used to always play was called The Wild Cherries Rag. And this was his signature tune when he was a piano player. Now, interestingly enough, Durante became so successful that he had to hire another piano player to lead the band that he'd perform with. And he hired a fellow from the city of Toledo, a guy named Roy Bargy, who was a fine piano player in his own right. He wrote a lot of great novelty rags, recorded many of them, and most of them were made into piano rolls, which are really impressive. Songs like Nice and Nifty, that's with a K, nice, K-N-I-C-E, and Nifty with a K. And then there were songs, Piano Flage is another one of the good ones. He wrote quite a number of these really great novelty rags in the 1920s, and as a novelty rag composer, he was second only to the great Zez Confrey. But anyway, that was later on that Roy Bargy became Jimmy Durante's music director. Back when Durante was a ragtime piano player, he used to play tunes like this as a piano solo, The Wild Cherries Rag. Only if you're comfortable doing it. It's up to you. There you go. There's a piano solo. It's called The Wild Cherries Rag, written by a guy named Ted Snyder, one of the lesser-known ragtime composers, but sure were a lot of them going around in those days. All right, well, tell you what, let's play a song. You never hear this song really anymore, but it's a great old tune. It was one of those songs about a fellow who had been waiting for his love to get back home after having been gone for months. And she was on the train due at 1:58. And the song goes like this. Come on, taxi, do your stuff. I can't get there fast enough. I'm waiting for the train from way out west. I'm just jumping in my shoes, 'cause I got no time to lose. Got a date at 1:58 with the gal that I love best. My cuties do at 2 to 2. She's coming in on the big choo-choo. She's been away for months, and I haven't cheated once. I stayed home nights, I didn't dance. I wasn't taking any chance. I've been real good, 'cause though it hurt, I just couldn't do my cutie dirt. My days were blue, my nights were black, but I knew she'd be coming back, 'cause I love her and she loves me. And say, don't tell me there's no Santa Claus. I know darn well there is, because my cuties do at 2 to 2 today. My cuties do at 2 to 2. She's coming in on the big choo-choo. She's been away for months, and I haven't cheated once. I stayed home nights, didn't dance. I wasn't taking any chance. I've been real good, 'cause though it hurt, I just couldn't do my cutie dirt. My days were blue, my nights were black, but I knew she'd be coming back, 'cause I love her and she loves me. And say, when I kiss her lips with mine, I won't let go till 9:30. My cuties do at 2 to 2 today. Yeah, they don't write them like that anymore, do they? My cuties do at 2 to 2. By the way, in case you didn't notice the title, at the original beginning of this program, this is a Grafing Productions production, if you will. And you can go to the website, grafingproductions.com, if you want to find out more about the audio, video, and entertaining options that are available from Grafing Productions. It's kind of interesting, some of the things that we've developed, especially during this coronavirus emergency, and it's gotten to be kind of fun doing some of the things that we're doing. And these internet concerts are also kind of fun. And oh boy, we got some beers purchased for us, which we're going to really enjoy here in a few minutes. We got a couple of brews to finish up here, and then apparently several people have purchased some for us. All I can say is thank you very, very much. You don't know how much we appreciate that. It's thirsty out when we're playing this stuff.
It's thirsty on Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know how many more Wednesdays we're going to be doing this, because as the place is open, eventually I certainly hope the Chefs of Dixieland are going to get to work playing live, but I don't know, maybe we'll be able to stream some of these concerts in the future. Ragtime Jimmy Durante, who sent that? Huh? Ah, yeah. Yeah, Ragtime Jimmy Durante. I think, yeah, I think I played some of the Jimmy Durante songs a couple of weeks ago. Did I play? Yeah, okay, I think, yeah. Well, you know, we can do that again. After Durante became popular and he stopped being a ragtime piano player and band leader, he started playing songs like Once Upon a Time They Played the Vodeo-Do, but that was long ago. Then everybody started into boop-boopy-doop, but they got tired of that, you know. But the tune for you and me is that swinging symphony. Ink, a dink-a-doo, a dink-a-doo, a dink-a-dee. Oh, what a tune for crooning. Ink, a dink-a-dee, a dink-a-dee, a dink-a-doo. It's got the whole world spooning. As Eskimo bells up in Iceland are ringing. They've made a whole paradise land singing. Ink, a dink-a-doo, a dink-a-doo, a dink-a-dee simply means ink. A dink-a-dink, a dink-a-doo. Let me hear from that orchestra. I don't hear no orchestra. Let me hear that choir. I don't hear no choir. Never mind, I'll take it myself. Eskimo bells up in Iceland are ringing. They've made a whole paradise land singing. Ink, a dink-a-doo, a dink-a-doo, a dink-a-dee simply means ink. A dink-a-dink, a dink-a-doo. Ink-a-dink-a-doo. That was Jimmy Durante's signature tune later on in his career. Well, we have a few requests that just came in. I don't know if we can get to them all tonight. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we actually, yeah, Ink-a-dink-a-doo. That was a kind of a fun tune, but, oh, I guess we can do this. SOS, SOS, Captain, we are lost. The ship is wallowing on the sea by wind and waves we're tossed. Lifeboats here, where the shrieks and moans. Captain cries all hands on deck and says in trembling tones, I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria. Tonight I miss those girls in Peoria, Peoria. Tonight, why did I ship to sea as a sailor boy? I should have stayed at home back in Illinois. So I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. Dr. Black, Dr. White, Dr. Smith and Jones have all decided to operate on Barney Google's bones. Nurses here, nurses there, someone sends a wreath. Barney looks up helplessly and murmurs through his teeth, I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria. Tonight I miss those girls in Peoria, Peoria. Tonight you can pick a morning gloria right off the sidewalks of Peoria. So I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. In the chapel we all sit, waiting with a smile, for soon we know we'll see the bride come walking down the aisle. Bridesmaids here and ushers there, and someone said to tear, and then the groom belts down a shot and murmurs through his beer, I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria. Tonight, how I miss those girls in Peoria, Peoria. Tonight, the present mayor of Peoria works at the 5 and 10 cent Storia. So I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. On the freeways we must drive, much to our chagrin, in our tiny foreign car so small and made of tin. Other cars go speeding past so fast that they could fly. Just before the dreadful crash you'll hear this mournful cry. I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. How I miss those girls in Peoria, Peoria tonight. Now the present mayor of Peoria still works at the 5 and 10 cent Storia. So I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. Mike McMahon's a married man and he has a jealous wife, but he's in love with a chorus girl and leads a double life. Wife breaks in and catches him, she's all set to kill, and then it's Bluey, Bluey, bang, 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 I'll read you his last will. It said, I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. How I miss those girls in Peoria, Peoria tonight. There's a Chinese restaurant in Peoria where they serve chicken cacciatore, sup gum. So I wish I was in Peoria, Peoria tonight. I wish I was in Peoria. Well, everybody's got to be somewhere. Well, unfortunately, that I can always tell when the low battery light starts flashing that it's time for us to say, well, thank you very much. Appreciate everybody tuning in this evening, and certainly hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope we brought a little bit of pleasure into the mix, into all of this stay-at-home stuff we've been doing lately. And eventually, the Kitchener Jazz Club will be back up and running, and there'll be performances every Saturday or every other Saturday, and it'll be all sorts of fun, and the festivals will begin again, and the clubs will be going. But until then, well, we're just kind of all stuck on the road to home sweet home. There's a window light a-burning for someone out there. There's a heart that's ever yearning and a head bowed down in prayer. There's a loving hand to guide him where'er he may roam. Back again through peaceful valleys on the road to home sweet home. someone out there. There's a heart that's ever yearning and a head bowed down in prayer. There's a loving hand to guide him where'er he may roam. Back again through peaceful valleys on the road to home, sweet home. On the road to home, sweet home, for those of you who aren't already at home, sweet home, we'll be back again next week, so we'll see you then. I don't know how much longer we're going to continue these concerts, but thank you for being here. Don't forget to check out grafingproductions.com and the Grafing Productions YouTube channel. And of course, you're all welcome to join me on Saturday morning on radio station AM 1230 WCWA. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us, and good night, everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed tonight's performance of the Ragtime Rick Show. If you have, click the like button and let us know. Don't forget, there's more where that came from. Be sure to subscribe to the Grafing Productions YouTube channel. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you can be sure to catch every new video. It takes a lot of resources to put on a concert like this. To help us make more, please contribute to our PayPal. That's paypal.me/ragtimerick. Thanks for watching.